What's up, everybody? Thank you all so much for listening and subscribing to Granted Radio on iTunes, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. If you have the free time, please leave us a review and let us know how we're doing. This show is not only for the artists, but for the fans of the guests that we have on the show, and we want to create the best experience possible for you, dear listener. Thanks, everyone.
We played Merle Haggard, and the sun come up. I'll play some Johnny, I'll play some Buck. Yeah, if you don't like it, well, you just title up. I'm the old-fashioned, that suits me fine. I'm carrying on what Nashville left behind. Come on, carry it on.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome and thank you for tuning in to the hub of the OC music scene, Granted Radio, winner of the OC Weekly's 2018's Best
That's
Podcast. I am local crackpot. Alex Elespuru here with me is the man with the plan, Emo Alaeddin. He's kind of here. He's helping set up. And completing our trifecta is Hazim Hootenanny Alaeddin.
Nice.
And joining us today is a very special band, Michael Monroe Goodman.
Thank you.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys coming in.
Here.
Still getting a little set up here. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, my name is Michael Monroe Goodman. I'm the one that band's named after. And these are the Honky Tonk Ninjas. This is Mr. Kevin Milner on the pedal steel guitar and the lap steel. And Mr. Nick Zengraff.
What's up?
On the electric bass. And then we got Caton Wildman Burns in there putting up his cymbals. And he plays the drums. So we're a four-piece most of the time. Sometimes we have a fiddle player. We got a fiddle player, but he's back in Chicago right now doing theater, so
Wow,
he's
okay,
not
cool.
with us right now. Yeah,
So is that the official name? Ninjas?
Michael Monroe Goodman and the Honky Tonk Ninjas. Yeah.
Honky Tonk Ninjas,
They're
okay,
like
cool.
the band, yeah, they're like the Strangers or the Buckaroos. They're the Honky Tonk Ninjas.
I like that.
So yeah, we bring honky tonk into your life like a ninja in the night.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So how long have you guys been a band?
This group of guys, well, Caton's been with us almost a year on the drums. Kevin's been with me for 2 years on pedal steel. Nick's been with me like a year and a half almost, something like that. And so I moved out here, moved to Anaheim 2.5 years ago and doing theater and acting and stuff. And comedy, I do all that stuff. And then, started trying to like network and meet people and put together my band out here because, I had my own band back in Kentucky and had a band in Chicago, done recording with, stuff like that. So moved out here, it's like, well, I got to start all over and find guys that I don't hate, that know what country music is.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard sometimes to find. In today's climate, it's hard to find a guy who can play a shuffle on the drums, and it's kind of hard to find someone who knows what a pedal steel is. And then a bass player that doesn't suck.
Yeah, it's really hard to find those.
That's hard to find, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm real blessed. These guys are all the best.
That's awesome.
And that's why we're the best honky tonk band in California.
Really cool.
Yeah.
So when you said networking, how'd you meet them through what?
I put out when I first moved here, like did the dumb thing. I put like an ad on Craigslist. Of course you get way more crazy people.
Careful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's better. It's just better word of mouth. So I mostly met these guys from networking. A good buddy of ours named Dave Bernal, the Just Dave band. He used to hold a every Wednesday night country music jam up in Tarzana at the Maui Sugar Mill, which is a real hot little club because a lot of celebrities and stuff go there. But I just went there and like befriended him and like let him know, I was a country artist in town, and he pretty much just gave me a whole Rolodex of people to call, and so tried out people. Kevin was the first pedal steel player I hired, and so that just kind of stuck. And then some other people, drummers and bass player stuff, kind of went through. It was just kind of finding the right combination of people that really, really understood my style of music and are fun to hang out with and play gigs with. Yeah.
So did you audition for the different roles too, or did it just work?
It wasn't really auditions. It was like I got a gig. I was like, well, I got to go through the list of names, find a bass player or drummer or whatever, and try them out for that gig. And then and then the next gig, call somebody else or whatever, until you really found the people that you're like, oh, I want to try and do my best to always try and get this person on the
Gotcha.
gig. You know, sometimes gotta have subs.
Yeah.
You know, because all the guys playing other bands, you know, because just trying to work and stay, you know, pay the bills. So, you know, it's kind of hard for none of the country artists here in Southern California, or except for maybe a couple, are booked so much that their band members don't have to play in other bands. But most people play in other bands. Nick plays in a couple other bands, and Kevin fills in lots of other bands and does projects, and Caton's got a million projects going on, jazz and all kinds of stuff. So, you know, whatever, to stay busy, I'd never stop any of them, you know, from taking a higher paying gig or whatever they can pay the bills. But I try my best to always get these guys on the gig when I can, you know, work around their schedule.
So do you do all the booking too?
Yeah, I do. I'm not very good at it, but I do. Yeah. At this point, you know.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'm not really good at, but I do. Luckily, we get word of mouth. Luckily, we're such a good band that luckily word of mouth and reputation gets us more doors open than anything.
Yeah.
If I could counter that with it being a good booking agent, we'd really be cooking. But it's a process, you know.
Of course.
And you know, I haven't been here that long, so it's still just getting my name around.
When did you move here?
April of 2016.
Oh my God.
So
yeah.
you said you were from Kentucky.
Yeah.
What made you settle on Southern California?
You know, insanity, I guess.
That's
you need a little bit of that.
Yeah. No, you know, I've been a country music songwriter and singer all my life. I grew up backstage at Grand Ole Opry sometime I was born, so I was like cursed to be a country music singer. So I've done that all my life, pretty much. But back in 2010, I did stand-up comedy in Louisville, Kentucky, where I lived for a long time. And then I met some people in Chicago, and they encouraged me that I should go to Chicago and study improv and comedy and acting, because it's just something I'd never tapped into that I'd always wanted to do. So I did. I went to Chicago, and I did that. I kind of put music on the back burner for a while and went to school and studied acting and improv. I had a lot of success with that in Chicago, doing musical theater and stuff, but I really wanted to be, and I had a good band up there too. I had guys that recorded my last 2 albums and sessions and stuff, and but I really wanted to get into TV and film, you know, as I write comedy and write movies and sitcoms and stuff, and so, and I would like to be in them, so it only made sense to come out here and start over and, you know, pay my dues here in Southern California, and I just got lucky that I come out here and, you know, find such a good group of guys to be in a band. This is the best band I've ever had in my whole life. You know, we gel really well, and they're just all really, really good at what they do, and they all enjoy doing what we do. So it's not like it's not just a paycheck, you know, like, you know, so that makes it all the well. I don't know. I guess we've been playing long enough together now. Like, they get me. A lot of times most gigs, I'll throw out a song that they've never heard of before, and I'll be like, let's do this one, and I'll just, like, you know, I'll tell Caton, like, oh, it's, you know, it's just kind of beat or whatever, and it's, you know, just follow me for the changes, you know, you know, groove and B, follow me for the changes, try to keep up, you know, that kind of, you know, but
Back to the Future thing again.
But like they get what I do so much now that we can read each other, and so we're even able to do stuff off the cuff, and so it's good because it
Very
just
cool.
brings the songs to life the way that I feel that they should be done, or in my style, and just everybody, we all really get it. And, you know.
So primarily you bring the music to the band?
Yeah, I'm the
It's your music.
songwriter. Yeah, I've been writing songs.
So you have
since I
time to write songs even though you're busy with...
Yeah, it
other
didn't take
things?
that long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really it's more for me. It's more of the discipline of sitting down and make myself do it than it is to take long to. I mean, I'm currently on day 5 of a 30-day songwriting challenge that I put myself on, and so I'm like posting a new song every day for 30 days.
Wow.
On social media to kind of like keep myself honest, so that my fans and friends or whatever are like, where's today's song, so that it makes me get up every morning and finish songs that I've had that I haven't never finished, or write a new song idea or whatever. So I've been doing real well with that.
Yeah,
it's
so it
amazing.
works.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, you know, when I was
Some good
younger,
ones coming out of this.
yeah, and they're
already.
good. That's the thing about it, is like a lot of times as an artist you get in your head, and especially when I was young and just kind of learning, how to songwrite or whatever, and learning what structure makes a good song. You just kind of wait for inspiration, but really it's in you to, if you're an artist, it's in you to do it. It's just a matter of like getting out of your own way and being overcritical and just trusting yourself to do it. And so that's kind of what this challenge is for me. It's like when there's and I've always worked that way from the time I was young. It's like when there's a deadline, I can like make miracles happen overnight. But like you give me all day, you give me like a year to do something, and I'll like dilly dally, and it's like it's not a good ethic to have. And it's like if I'm capable of doing stuff like that, like why not make myself do it diligently? And then I have a catalog that's
So so you're talking about 30 songs, right? 30 days.
30 songs in 30 days. Yeah,
It's like a double album.
pretty much it would be. Yeah, I mean some of them are. I'm not. That's the thing about this. Usually when I write songs, it's album minded.
Yeah.
It's just like now. Usually, like right before I get ready to go and record an album, I'll like crank out 4 or 5 new songs leading up to it, and weed out weaker songs or whatever for the album, and try and make the album have a concept or whatever. And so, and I've even my first album, I even like wrote 2 songs in the studio on the fly. We just like wrote, just like, and it's like. Once you trust yourself musically just to do that, you can come up with that. And sometimes it's better anyway.
Yeah.
Because you have to do it, and so you can't be critical, and then therefore like you just let whatever comes out.
Yeah.
Or if you just analyze it to death, you might just crush every bit of originality
As usual.
that it has.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your writing process, like how you come up with what you're singing about?
Oh, singing about? I mean, that's a multitude of things. A lot of times I'll just get like if it's like a hook, just be a hook or something that's clever, and it's like, oh, well, how can I flesh that out and make it a full idea that somebody can get behind? Or it's just like an issue or a topic or something where I'm just feel like a need to say something about it, like that. So yeah, and I mean, and I'm a big believer too. And Bill Monroe, who's a great songwriter, was very adamant about this. He said that every song he ever had was a gift from God. It's like he's like, and I've heard a lot of songwriters say that like they just hear something out of nowhere in their head, and it's like they don't really know where it comes from. And so I'm a big believer of that, because that's happened to me a lot in my life. And that happened to me when I was like 12 years old. I started hearing little tunes in my head. And for a while, I didn't do anything with them because I didn't think, I'm not a songwriter. I was like, that's nonsense. That's just.
Right.
But then you start trusting, and you go, oh, like you trust these little melodies that come in your head. So I'll get little ideas here and there, and luckily now with technology, my phone, if I like get a
It's amazing.
idea, I just like hit like that and record it. It'd be like a 15-second chorus or something.
Yeah.
Or just even a hook or something, and then I have it, and then I can go back and pull it up, and I go, oh yeah, when I have time, I can like really start trying to figure out how to flesh it into a full idea, of a song or whatever. I'll do that. I'll have an idea and I'll sit down. Sometimes I'll just write out lyrics. I kind of just do it like line by line. But when I was in Chicago, I did musical improv. Studied musical improv conservatory at Second City, and that's when I like discovered how valuable it was to like not to do it on the fly, because we would do like a full improvised musical for like an hour long, and you'd have a piano accompanist who would create whatever the score, whatever it was. So like you as a performer, you would just have to create the melody, and the lyrics didn't really matter
Right.
in that context or whatever, just as long as it rhymed, or it didn't really have to. As long as you were just trying to complete thoughts, it worked. And when I did that, it really showed me that like, man, if I like don't get hung up on the words and just create the melody, I create way more interesting melodies, because then I'm just thinking musically of like what sounds good up in ebb and flow or whatever. So since then, that's how I write a lot of my songs. I will like,
Cool.
I might get a one hook or whatever, but then I'll just sit down and just like mumble the melodies or whatever to like not be conformed by the words first. And a lot of times it's like I'll create something that sounds a way, and so I'll have a melody or something that has an identity, and then that makes it easier to figure out the words, because you're like, you know what the song is about.
Yeah.
A lot of songs like that. You like hear the song without knowing the words of it. You already know the emotion of the song. Listen to it, so then it's like, okay, what words, fill in with this emotion. So since I've been doing that, I felt that's made my songwriting better, because it's
Awesome.
I'm focusing on the emotion and the melody before I'm like bogged down to tangible words, you know.
So, what instruments do you play?
I mean, guitar first. I play guitar, and then I also play mandolin, banjo, and I can play a little bit of electric bass and fiddle. I'm working on learning the fiddle right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you said you've been playing your whole life, so since early childhood.
I've been singing for ever since I was born. You know, my family is very musical. My grandpa sang Gene Autry songs to me and my cousins, you know, around the house all the time, and so grew up on cowboy songs. And then my dad was a very adamant bluegrass banjo player and adored Bill Monroe more than anything, and that's how me and my family got affiliated with him. And so we just, like, as a kid, we just go to bluegrass festivals like every weekend, and you know, we'd be at the Grand Ole Opry maybe once or twice a month. And so just being around all that was just kind of influenced me without even knowing it as a child or whatever. And you know, now I realize how much it is me without realizing that that's my background.
And this is what you want to do. Right?
Yeah, I mean,
Music?
it's just something I have to do. It's just who I am. It's just it took me a lot of years to realize like what I was for through my teenage years and early 20s or whatever. I just sang because I thought it was the only thing I was good at, and I thought I just had to do that because I was kind of a introvert or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then but I realized, like, from the time I was a kid, I always wanted to be an entertainer. If it was sitting in my room,
Performer.
yeah, just if you're sitting in my room, imitating Eddie Murphy verbatim in his stand-up, or imitating all the characters from SNL or Johnny Carson or whatever. It's like I was always doing impressions and always doing comedy, but I was never, as a kid, I didn't have the social confidence or anything to do it in front of people. And so, you know, luckily when I moved to Chicago, all that came out. So now I know that I'm just a all-around entertainer. Or anything, I just call myself a storyteller. That's because that's just what it all boils down to. Like,
right.
I just have the desire to tell stories, whether it's through a song, or whether it's writing a script, or whether it's being an actor on stage and conveying a story. You know, it's just like anything that has to do with storytelling is just something that I really feel the need to do. Or if it's telling jokes, it's telling a story through a joke, you know.
So when you did comedy, was it here or was it in Chicago?
Mostly Chicago. I've done very little comedy here. I'm at the Groundlings in LA, which is the big improv staple there. You know, I went through a couple of their courses there, but I haven't stepped back into doing stand up here. And in Chicago, I only did improv. You know, so it was just. But I do that probably 2 or 3 nights a week. So there's a lot of outlets where independent groups could go up, and I was in like every improv school and program that there was there. I was just immersed in it. So I would do like improv 2 or 3 times a week, you know, and you just do like 30-40 minutes.
Wow.
Completely
brave.
Up, you know, and you'd find characters that way, or you just, a lot of times you wouldn't remember anything you did for 40 minutes. You'd get laughs for it. If you didn't have a recording of it or whatever, you couldn't remember anything you did because you're just in the moment doing it. But I'm debating getting back into doing stand-up here, because since LA is such a great stand-up city, but you know, Chicago's improv, you know, it's like, but here is such a great stand-up city. I'm wanting to get back into doing stand-up, but I just haven't the time and just figured out how I want to do it yet.
How do you think your improv background and training has really helped your success as an artist?
Well, I mean, it's one more skill to have, like anything. But I would say that the beauty of improv, that I think, and they do that, like Second City and improv schools like that, they have a lot of like corporate outreach stuff. They'll have someone go in that's an improvised instructor, where they'll go in like a business or whatever, and they'll show how improv and stuff is good for implementing ideas and stuff like that. And so it's really good, because the whole mentality of improv is like, it's really like trusting your gut, trusting your instinct, because it's all in you, all of us, you know. And so it's like getting out of your own way, because as you know, as when you're a kid, you have no problem imagining and making up stuff, because you don't judge yourself. You're just making up nonsense or whatever. But like as we all get older as adults, we start getting critical and in our heads and worry what people think. So it's like improv's like the opposite of that. It's like helping you get out of your head again and trust your,
Amazing.
because that's where like the ideas come from. So it's helped me a lot on that, like trusting myself in things and just kind of being spontaneous and not judging yourself and just like letting whatever can come out, you know.
So you say you write scripts. So do you ever like when you write a script, you ever envision like the soundtrack that you would do?
I do. Well, yeah. I mean, I've got not with the. I've wrote one movie, and I don't have any clue in my mind what the score would be like for it. It'd probably be more of a movie that includes a lot of like pop songs as backgrounds. But I've got musicals. I've got one musical that I'm writing that's a cowboy musical. So it is very much I'm writing the story and the music to it all at the same time, and it's very much that. And and most of my stories all start from a joke or something stupid. You know, it's like my movie, for instance, is about these two gay guys who grew up in a small red state town. One of them got out after high school, went to New York and shacked up with a supermodel boyfriend, and the other one was like too afraid to ever get out and stayed home. And then the other one comes back to visit, and it's like hilarity ensues, and they get involved with a local church because they hear this rumor that the governor is going to pass gay marriage, and they're both cripplingly terrified of commitment to their boyfriends, so they want to stop gay marriage so that they don't have to get married to their boyfriend. So like they actually befriend a church thinking like, oh, the church will help us because they hate us or whatever. And so one of them goes in drag, and they pretend to be like a engaged couple at a church. And what they end up finding is that in the church they end up finding this loving embrace and acceptance that they, dispelling misconceptions from both sides of the fence or whatever. And so the people in the church actually help them get through their relationship problems in their life. And it turns out the people in church knew all along. But they didn't hesitate. Well, I'm not, I was like, but like they end up helping each other out, and it's like it's this great thing where they help each other. So it's a lot of comedy involved with it, just hilarity, awesome. Ridiculous things. But like that all came from a joke. I was like, when I was in Chicago, I was like, it was during like the whole big Supreme Court whatever gay marriage thing, and I was like, people picketing. I was like, what if there was just two gay guys out there? A gay guy out there just protesting just because he doesn't want to be committed. I was like, well, and so that just kind of sparked the whole thing. And my musicals is like the same way. This cowboy musical that I'm writing, it's like a homage to like Gene Autry and Roy Rogers and those singing cowboy musicals. But it all started from this ridiculous joke of a show I was in Chicago. I was in $1 Million Quartet, which is the Broadway show of Sun Records, the story of Sun Records. And so they had a running gag before I even got there. They would always try and insert this little lick into the show somewhere, and it was like da 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 da, and it was called "Bag of Dicks and a Railroad Spike," and it was like, and I don't even know if someone there came up with it, and it had no context of meaning anything.
No, it doesn't.
It had no context whatsoever. It was just a little stupid thing. I think one of them found a railroad spike in the dressing room, and it was just like, they're like that. And so me like wanting to create context of things. I started doing that show. I would put that in the show whenever I was playing guitar in the show, and I'd get notes from music director like, "Quit putting Bag of Dicks and Railroad Spike in the underscore," and and I was very proud to have those notes. I was like, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And so I just like went home one day and I was like, I want to like bring this to life, and so I wrote this like Marty Robbins type cowboy story song about the guy who had the Bag of Dicks and Railroad Spike, and it was like this story of a guy in Arizona and. Didn't really know about his past, but he carried around this little pouch on his hip, and he had a railroad spike around his neck, and then like something happened. There was a corrupt politician in the town, and he ends up, the good guy gets framed for it, and he has to clear his name by going to find an Arizona Ranger, and along the way you find out how he got the railroad spike. He worked on the railroad, and he drove the last spike, joining the East and West, so they got this golden railroad spike, and you find out that he has this pouch, and he doesn't even know what's in it. He's like had it around his hip for a bit, but he was like in the cavalry, and you tell a story if he was in the cavalry and he was supposed to go in and fighting this tribe of Indians, and it was the wrong tribe. It was a peaceful tribe, and so when he got in there, he like stopped the men from engaging in battle, and he saved the tribe's life because it was the wrong one. So like the Indian chief like said something to him in Navajo and gave him this thing, and was like, you must keep this with you at all time, and he never knew what it was. And then later in the musical, like this love interest who's very fluent in Indian languages translates like, you've been carried around the virile remains of all the former Indian chiefs. And like, so his sidekick's like, you've been carrying around a bag of dicks, boy. And he's like, what? So so it's like that's.
Oh my God, how do you come up with this stuff?
Yeah, so it's like that's the thing of why he carries these around. And so they end up the bad guys like trap them in a jail and set it on fire, and they think they're dead. And all of a sudden the pouch glows, and these 3 spirit Indians show up and save him. And these 3 former Indian chiefs have been watching over him all these years, and now they're going back to the town to save the girl who got kidnapped. And it's the Arizona Ranger and Bo and his sidekick and the 3 spirit Indians on spirit horses like going back to save him. And so it's like. So that's like this ridiculous comedic story, So that's like the story arc of it, and so and I've started, so I wrote it like, well, I wanted to be funny. It's funny, but also like along the way, I thought I was like, well, I want to like make this like a tribute to like real singing cowboy movies, because like a lot of the generation now doesn't know anything about that. And I grew up on that, and my grandpa was like the biggest Gene Autry fan in the world. And I love that type of storytelling. So that's what I've decided to make this musical, like a stage version of a singing cowboy movie. And so like the lead character will sing, and there's like a traveling 4-piece cowboy band that just kind of moves around and underscores the whole thing. And it's just, so it's like, it's a comedy, but at the same time too, all the music I'm writing for it is like genuine, authentic sounding old cowboy songs.
Very
cool.
So
that's
But so you're in the process of finishing it, or?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm like about 4 songs in. I mean, I've got the treatment. I know the whole story layout.
Yeah.
I've got all that. I've got most of the details, but I'm about four songs into it. I've got like the first 4 songs and the overture written for it or whatever,
So you're definitely a storyteller. So I guess.
I like telling stories.
Yeah. So when it comes to your band, that's what you're doing also. You're telling stories.
Telling stories through songs, and hopefully, when we play out, it's like an experience. People come see us, it's not so much we're playing dance halls and stuff. It's kind of just, play the songs, make people want to dance and have a good time, whatever. But like when we do a concert or something, they can be more involved, and it's like telling stories about the songs, or just making an experience of the show, so we do both, just whatever. We're doing dance halls, it's more about, if we're playing dance halls, it's more about we play the songs and make them dance, but then we're just like having fun together, jamming out on the songs. So that's
So where do you guys perform?
We performed last night at Cowboy Country in Long Beach, which has been around for a lot of years, and we'll be there tonight too, from 9 to 1:30. And then we play Cowboy Palace, which is up in the valley, up in Chatsworth. We play there once or twice a month. And it's the same deal. They have live music every night of the week there, and it's one of those old dance halls with a built-in dance crowd that really likes country music. So we play there. We play. What's that? We play. There's a place in Dana Point, Swallows Inn in San Juan Capistrano. That's another like classic country dive bar kind of staple of San Juan. We play there once a month. It's real nice. We play Stillwater, which is in Dana Point, regular. And then we'll do Mother's Tavern. That's one of our, it's like our first gig. It's in Sunset Beach, and it's a little tiny bar, and we just kind of cram in a little corner. But it's maybe the most fun we have of any gigs, because just the crowds just really enthrall everything we do, and it's not about playing dance songs. It's about like just like really rocking out the country tunes, and we have more freedom there to like we could do 3 slow songs in a row if we wanted to or whatever, but like, but we just kind of we'll throw stuff out in the air or whatever and just do stuff there, experiment stuff. But
you guys have a great sound. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you.
It feels like it's a celebration or a party or.
Yeah, it's like we just, I think we have the most fun on stage playing. It's like, and that's the thing. It's like that's why it's like good to get. I mean, it's like with any successful band, like the Stones or the Beatles or something like that. It's like when you get like a right combination of people together and you're all like a group mind for what you're doing. Everybody does a different thing in the band, but it's all a common goal of like, let's have fun and really honor the songs, and it's like honor the story. So it's really just like that. So when you get like a group of people together that you do get that for, it just makes it so fun and effortless. It's like, but sometimes it's not so much here lately. But when I was like finding musicians, we'd have a gig or whatever, and we'd have a sub or something. They either didn't do their homework or they just didn't get style of music, and then it just felt like a battle all night. Because it was just like,
I'm sure
it's not. It's like we're getting through it, and the audience is like, "Oh, y'all sound fine." It's like, no, we don't. It's like, no, it's like we're not. The groove's not there. So it's like then it feels like work or whatever to get through. But when everyone's on the same page, it just feels effortless. It's just
Do you guys all have the same influences? Or same genres?
Kind of
or
broader,
no?
I think.
Probably broad. Yeah. What about you, Nick? You got
I'm a big metalhead. My brother got me into metal when I was in my teens, and I grew up playing orchestra. The first instrument I played was tuba. Actually.
Really?
So classical metal was mine.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very broad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Kevin?
I grew up in Santa Barbara. Not much honky tonk and country music in Santa Barbara, so I kind of came to that later. But kind of through Americana and playing the steel and folk and Americana stuff, and then some friends in college introduced me to Merle Haggard, and that was it for me, and had to dig in deep.
Well, I grew up here in Orange County. My parents listened to a lot of Nirvana, Pearl Jam, a lot of grunge, but then also a lot of like Sun Volt and Wilco. They were pretty hip parents. But then later on, they started listening to some more Johnny Cash after that movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
So they started playing a lot of that. CCR, you call them kind of country.
Yeah.
But yeah, also, just a lot of folk music too. So my parents
very cool.
raised me on that.
Which is kind of a cool thing that like none of them come from a strictly country background or whatever, but yet I think we all just a commonality. We all do it really well together.
Yeah.
Where
I mean, when I first heard you guys, I didn't think it was country when I first heard it.
Oh,
right? It was.
Well, it's not pop country. It's not like the...
No, it's not like we
right.
don't fit in at all with what's on the radio. No,
Right,
we
exactly.
don't have a beat machine or a backward trucker hat or nothing.
I wouldn't call that country though.
Yeah.
That's not country though. That's I don't even really know
Southern
what that
pop
is.
music.
Oh
like
yeah, Southern
yeah.
pop. Yeah.
That's rap music for people who are afraid of black people.
Oh my God.
That's not my quote. That's Steve Earle. Steve Earle said that, and it's kind of like, and I'm kind of like, he might have a point. It's kind of. It's just like, but I was like, I mean, and that's the thing. It's like I don't hate. People like come at me all the time. It's like, how dare you go after Luke Bryan or these people? Or I was like, I'm not going after them for not doing what they do. Like that's fine. People, like what they do. But and that I don't care about that. Like there's all kinds of different musics, and music doesn't have to have labels on it. That's the thing. But if you're going to label it, don't label it wrong. That's the thing. It's like that's the thing about, other people real blasé about it. It's like, oh, whatever, that's just what new country is. And for me, it's like, I was like, no, I grew up on this music and there's a tradition to it. And I know, grew up around a lot of people that were the founders of the beginning of it and stuff like that. And it's like, to just pretend like it's something else new and forget about it, it's like, that's just rude. And it's like, no one would just like, oh, let's just forget about Miles Davis and call anything jazz. It's like, it's just rude. It's like, no, it's like, it doesn't negate anything new people are doing or whatever. It's like that's great, that's their thing. But when they're trying to like piggyback on it and use it as a badge of something it's not, it's like, well, do you have to lie about what your music is to make people like it? Like it's like, can it just speak for itself, or do you have to like try and label it something not to try and get some sort of validity or something otherwise? It's like either don't label it all or call it what it is. Yeah.
So you're building an audience.
Trying to.
And are you doing social media?
I got
Are you active?
Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that.
Do you want to plug any of them?
Oh yeah, I mean you can look up. You can find anything Michael Monroe Goodman. If you just put in Michael Monroe Goodman, it'll show up everywhere.
True, on Google, it's not very hard.
I mean that's just my handle for every social media outlet. It's just my full name.
Yeah.
It's like Instagram, Facebook, or like that. I don't have Snapchat or anything like that. I'm not young and cool enough to do that. But,
I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, but like Instagram or Facebook or I think I have a Twitter account, but it just repost everything I did on Instagram.
There's a video, but it's not on your channel, right?
I've got a lot of YouTube videos. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, YouTube. So usually post anything video I do on YouTube. Where I've got like my Country Music Matters series that I started on YouTube that I started years ago. Where it's just like I'm just kind of play an old country song that people might have forgotten about, give a little info or something about it or whatever, and just it's kind of like an education thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So do that. Yeah.
Well, we know you said earlier that you've got a show coming up tonight.
Yeah.
But this episode's not coming out for another week or so. So we'd like to hear something that's coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Let's see. Kevin is better at it than I am. He keeps better tracking his phone than I do. I sometimes forget. On the 17th, which will be 2 weeks from tonight, we'll be at Cowboy Palace in Chatsworth.
Swallows on the 18th.
Swallows in San Juan Capistrano on the 18th.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it comes out in time, but we'll be at Mother's Tavern in Huntington Beach on the 11th for Veterans Day, kind of playing thing there. And then the 25th, I will be at Original Mike's here in Santa Ana on Sunday, like a matinee. I don't know if the band will be with me yet. They haven't told me yet. It's a hillbilly jazz show that a company does a lot of rockabilly stuff, and they want me on it, but they didn't tell me yet whether or not they want to bring my band, if they just want me to come sing a few songs. So I haven't found that out yet. It's probably just going to be me because I don't think they're going to be paying me money, so I'm not going to drag out my other band for no money. Then December will be Swallows Inn on the 7th. Yeah. And that's about the ones we got coming up there like that. But you can always check out MichaelMonroeGoodman.com. And
do you play a combination of originals and covers, or just originals?
Yeah, we play out. We keep it. It's probably like 70-30 blend. We do, especially the dance hall stuff. We play,
of course,
like 70-30 of covers and dance stuff, but always throw in originals in there too. But
call the dance to it, and
we call the dance to it. That's the thing. It's like when we started playing at dance halls, I'm like, okay, which of my songs can we cater to that? Because I want to be able to play original music, but also it fit in the context where we're playing. So luckily, all my songs, like any song, but has a dance to it or whatever. So we just kind of fit that in. So a lot of people that come to our dance hall shows like don't even realize that love. Someone will say, "Oh, I like that song." I'm like, "Well, it's mine." Like, really? They don't even know. They don't put it together. They don't listen when you tell them, before you sing it or whatever. But it's like, I know some original artists get flack for playing their original songs at venues or whatever, and for whatever reasons, But like, so I'm aware of that. It's like you got to be careful because if you're hired, you're getting paid money to play a dance hall. Your job for that gig is to keep them dancing and having a good time. So it's like you can't do all your like sad bastard
promote
songs,
your stuff,
whatever. You gotta do stuff that kind of fits in. So for that, you gotta be careful of doing stuff, showing your original stuff, but like make sure it fits in the context of what you're doing like that. And I don't that's not a problem for me because I've got most of my songs are either danceable, or sentimental. We don't do a lot of the sentimental. We don't do like the sad, real sad, personal, whatever songs live. We just do like the real good dance fun
stuff.
songs. Yeah.
Cool.
Well, good. We're excited.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we'd love to hear you guys play.
Yeah.
Why don't we move into the other room and get you guys set up?
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we get to the incredible performances by Michael Monroe Goodman and the Honky Tonk Ninjas, I just wanted to take a quick moment and thank the sponsor of this episode, CBD Online Store. CBD is becoming more and more popular as its healing properties can help with anything, from joint pain, muscle pain, sleeplessness. It is even used to help pets with anxiety. To check out all sorts of CBD products, go to cbd-online-store.com. And don't forget to use the code GR10OFF for 10% off their already discounted prices. That's GR10OFF at cbd-online-store.com.
There's a girl at the bar, said she likes the way I play the soul guitar, and she asked me, "Oh, pretty please, will you play a song for me?" Well, I tried not to crack a smile. I said, "I'm sorry, honey, that just ain't my style." what Nashville left behind. I'm carrying on what Nashville left behind. 1, 2, 3. Take me back to Everly Avenue. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't need no 7 wonders. I just wanna be next to you. I don't need the Rocky Mountains. I don't need the ocean tide. I just wanna have you with me right here by my side. Take me back to Everly Avenue. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't need no 7 wonders. I just wanna be next to you. I don't need a golden mansion. I don't need the city lights. I see everything I want when I look into your eyes. Take me back to Everly Avenue. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't need no 7 wonders. I just wanna be next to you. I don't need the Rocky Mountains. I don't need the ocean tide. I just wanna have you with me right here by my side. Take me back to Everly Avenue. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I don't need no 7 wonders. I just wanna be next to you. I just wanna be next to you. Well, I just wanna be next to you.
All right, we want to thank you guys one last time for coming in today. We really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having us.
That was a treat, man. That was great.
Yeah,
Really
great
fun to
job,
listen to you
guys.
guys.
Thank you,
Amazing.
man.
One last time, where can we follow you guys on social media?
MichaelMonroeGoodman.com. You can find out all the places we're playing. You know, you can check out these guys too. Nick Zengraff, Kevin Milner, and Caton Burns. They play in other bands. You want to check out other stuff.
Great
we do as
musicians,
well,
all
but-
of you.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
Pleasure.
Great band.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play. Just Google Granite Radio. You can find us there.
Right.
Emo, do you really want to quickly touch on Artist Spotlight?
It's every other Monday at Worst House in Santa Ana.
Yeah, come out, see other local artists, and win a $50 prize for the best show. All right, we want to thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you, guys.
Signing out here.
Great to meet you.